panels I don't think have a clip. I think they just have the 3 tabs. So you just make sure it sits in all 3 tabs to get that safely in there. So those are gel frames. What else do I have? Sidearm. If you're ever hanging your light on a lighting position and you want to be able to get it out just a little further to get past an obstruction, a sidearm allows you to extend where you're hanging from. So I think on that last sheet, which I don't have right now for you guys, on that last sheet it talks about the parts of the light. So I think on that very last page of your handout. So we're looking at right here, this is the yoke of the instrument. And if you look at that last page, you can kind of see that it's got the parts labeled for you. The yoke has the C-clamp on it. If I want to extend where I'm hanging from, then what I do is I take the bolt off the bottom of the C-clamp, take the whole C-clamp off, and then I replace it with the sidearm, so that the sidearm would be coming off where the C-clamp is instead. You can see that the C-clamp is also on the sidearm. So now, if I were to hang this, I could do something like this and be sidearmed off the truss. If I just wanted to hang it normally, I could hang it like that. All right. One other thing that we use usually in conjunction with the ERSs, this is called a donut. Probably just because it has a small little circle in the center, and it can even be smaller. But this cuts down on flare. We talked about like the imperfections of the lighting. Let's say you try to focus your happy birthday gobo, and it's just a little bit blurry still. Sometimes you drop this in front of it, and it helps cut down on the flare or the highlightation just a little bit and make it a little bit clearer. And that's usually what we use these for. Okay. Tie line. This little black piece of what looks like yarn to most of you. Tie line is one of the biggest tools besides gaff tape that we use. This helps us tie up cables. In the movie industry, they might call this sash, but we usually just refer to it as tie line. Helps us tie up cables. Anytime we're tying up cables, you usually just tie a bow tie, like you're tying shoelaces. So you just wrap it around the cable and pipe, it holds it to the pipe, tie it like you tie your shoelaces. Unless you have one that's long enough to tie what we call a clove hitch. Then we do a clove hitch with a bow tie on top. But that's a whole other thing. Couple last things. This is what we call black wrap. Let's say we don't have enough barn doors for our lights, or we need to shield a little bit of our light off of stuff. This is like black tin foil. The aluminum foil you guys use to bake. It's a high temperature aluminum, but it's obviously painted black so that you can use it with lighting and have it not be reflective and visible. It's a kind of an alternative to like a barn door. That's black wrap. Okay.
And this is sold as it is, right?
What's that?
It's sold as it is.
Yeah. Like it's sold in a roll, like your aluminum foil is, and you rip off a piece, and I can rip this just as easily as I rip aluminum.
It's really easy to rip.
Yes, it is. Okay, just to make sure we cover all the parts on the legs, I want to make sure you guys know what everything is here. We talked about the C-clamp. We talked about the yoke. So this part here is the yoke. Now you can see it says pan screw on the side of the C-clamp. That's this little one right here. So there's this little bolt on the side. If you loosen that, that allows you to do what we call pan the unit, which is turn it from side to side. So you guys will have your handy dandy wrenches. You will loosen the pan screw, and this one breaks easily. So this has some names that I probably should not repeat in class, because what we really call the pan screw, should I say, is anybody easily offended by language? It's not that bad, but we usually call this either the fuck me nut or the Jesus nut. Because you tend to break it, you hit your knuckles really bad because you put too much force on it, and you're probably swearing and saying something of those two sorts. So, but this is the pan screw. Never over tighten it, especially for those of you who might have a bigger than a 6-inch crescent wrench. This is the one that's going to snap. So just tighten it enough so that the light's not moving. Don't over tighten it, snap it, and wrap your knuckles and make them bleed. So that's the pan screw. Tilt knob. It's a little hard to see in the top picture, but the tilt knob we also might call the T-handle. The tilt knob is, again, You've got adjustment that allows you to move the light up and down or side to side. The tilt is the up and down. The pan is the side to side. That makes sense to everybody? Any questions on that? All right. And then on the Fresnel, as you guys saw, which didn't work for me, they've got a picture of what they call the screw feed crank right there. Some of them don't have this screw feed crank. They have like a little wing nut on the bottom that you would loosen and slide back and forth, and that would be the adjustment. Okay. The sled we opened up, you saw the sled with lamp and reflector on it. The Fresnel lens we talked about. We talked about the color frame and accessory brackets. So if you have any questions on these, let me know as we're going through, but we kind of showed you guys all those. And then it's got the ERS on the bottom, and it has a few extra things than the Fresnel picture has. It's kind of pointing to the pattern slot, which is right next to the shutter. So make sure you guys see where it's pointing with the pattern slot. The top of the unit, this is one of my pet peeves with electricians. The top of the unit, think about gravity working with you and against you. The idea with the gel frames is you want gravity to help you hold the gel frame in and not have it fall out. So this would be the top with the gel frame clip on top. The gobo, ideally again, gravity should help you, so the gobo slot should be on top and by your top shutter. So when you look at this picture, make sure you can see the difference of where it's pointing for the pattern slot, would be on the top of the unit, and then it's got an arrow to a shutter. And the reason I'm pointing this out is this might be on a test. In fact, it is. So just make sure you know the difference between the pattern or gobo slot and the shutter. All right, and then it's got all the same things. It shows you the lamp basin socket. It points out the ellipsoidal reflector. And then the aperture or the gate, again, that's the area where we put the gobo that's got that nice focal point so we can both focus on the shutters and the gobo. And then it talks about the plano convex lens. Again, plano, or the plane, the flat side, and the convex being the curved side. That is most of that stuff. Do you guys have any questions so far? Yeah.
Is the plano convex lens always flat side away from the light source?
It's just like it shows you in that picture at the very first page of your handout. It's actually got two plano convex lenses there. And it's got the flat side of one, the first one is towards the lamp, and then the flat side of the other is towards the front of the unit.
So they're reversible, plane side and convex side can
No,
be
it's just how you have it.
either way.
It's got to be this way, how it's pictured. Otherwise it doesn't focus right. So you have two, and it's got to be set up like it's shown there. Okay? All right, now, let's see here. We need to do a couple of things here. How much time do I have to do this? Oh gosh, we're getting close. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to assign you to groups and check off your wrenches today, so that when we come in next time, we're going to have 4 booms set up. And what I want you guys to do is we're going to have groups 1 through 4 at the booms. We're going to have one group sitting down and starting to mastermind your photo project, and one group playing at the board so you guys all get the sense of being at the board and how those submasters work. So, being incredibly creative. Let's see. We're going to do groups of roughly 5 of you guys.
I would like to work with Rose.
So, and I'm going to try to check off the wrenches at the same time. So I'm going to call out your name, and if you can hold up a wrench if you got it today, and I will check it off in both of your group numbers. So, Anderson DeJorian, you are group 1. What do you do? Okay. Carla, group 1. Steven.
My wrench is the motor. I can show it to you anytime.
Group 1. Okay. Pierce. Great. You are also group 1. Zara. Group 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Simone. You're looking? Okay, come and show it to me if you can. You're group 2. So Simone is group 2. Jacqueline Chan, group 2. Nicole. Okay. You're group 2. Monica. You have the small one, okay. That's all right. I'll give you credit for trying. Okay, you're group 2 as well. Floor. Group 2. Marilyn. Okay, you are group 3. Simone, I'll check you off. And did you have a... Eric? Evelyn? That's you, okay.
Yeah.
You are group 3. Jasmine? Okay, you are group 3. Manny? Group 3. And then Joelle? Nope. Marcus? Group 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Colton? Okay, you're group 4. Jay? Okay. Delilah? Okay. Do you have wrench? You're right. Okay. You are group 4 as well. David? Okay. Michael?
Yes.
Okay, you are group 4. Nina? Okay. Great. You are group 4. Leslie?
Yeah.
Yep. You are group 4 as well.